Hey everyone, welcome once again to Mr. Enseminger's Fun with Programming Python videos. Throughout this week, we've been working with the if statements. You've seen some of this stuff. We're going to enhance it a little bit in this video. The last video, you looked at the compound statements with and or, and in this video, we will talk about how to extend an if statement, making multiple choices with if, else, and else if, otherwise in Python shortened to Elif. Let's start. Let's say we have some kind of input here. We'll use num as our variable, and we'll input, please enter a number of some kind. So let's say we want to figure out if a number is positive, negative, or equal to 0. Pretty simple task. We can say if the number is greater than 0, print positive, and we could do if the number is less than 0, print negative, and if the number is double equal to 0, you can print 0. So 3 different if statements making 3 different distinct decisions. Can I shorten that? The answer is yes, I can. I can make that a little bit short, a little bit easier to read, because really you're testing one number in 3 different ways. You're not testing one number 3 times, you're testing one number and making 3 different decisions. And this is where the other keywords come in with elif and else. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to redo that program, that little stub, if you will, and I'm going to condense it a little bit. Now, it's not going to be significantly so, but here's what I'm going to do. I start with my first if statement. That's not going to change. What I'll do after that, I'm going to put on elif, and notice that elif, elif, turns the orange color. It recognizes it. So what you're saying here is you have if, but then what if that's not true? Well, else, what about this one? All right. And then I could also put that elif. And so now I have one complete thought rather than 3 different if statements. Does it look significantly different? No, of course not. But I can actually shorten it a little bit more. And I'm not talking about like super short, but just a tiny bit. So can you think of a number that's neither positive, negative, nor 0? Nope, not for an integer. So there are no other situations here. It's either one or the other or the other. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's one of those 3. So if it's not positive, it's not negative, then I don't really have anything else to test. And even in that sentence I just said, I don't have anything else to test. That's where the word else by itself comes into play. Because if it's not this, then that's the only thing that's left, just the word else. And if I try that real fast, if elif else, let's type in 0, print it out 0, and because why not test the other ones? Let's test 5. 5 is positive. Ooh. And then one more to test. Let's try -6. There it is. It gives you negative. Pretty easy to understand. You can make these statements into one shorter statement. You might be thinking, well, who cares? What's the big deal with that? Because it's still 3 if statements. And yeah, it still is. But there are certain circumstances where this is better to use than just if. Let me give you an example. What about number grades? So 93 to 100 is an A. 86 to 92 is a B. I believe it's 78 to 85 is a C. 70 to 77 is a D, and then anything under that would be an F. So there's 5 different choices there, right? So if I say grade equals int input, please enter your numeric grade. Well, if I say if the grade is greater than or equal to 93, print that you got an A. Congratulations. All right. But now here's the trick. You got to be a little careful about how you say the next one. If you do it as an if, grade is bigger than or equal to 86, greater than or equal to 86, print B. There's overlap there, because if you type in that you have a 95, not only will it print an A, it'll also print that you have a B, because 95 is technically above 86. So what we can do to make this not have it print twice, I can have it print Elif, because Elif tells me that only one of these can be true. I'm not going to do all 5. If you have if, it's 5 of them, I think, then all of them could trigger. Like if you have if greater than 70, if greater than 0, then it's going to print A, B, C, D, F, which you don't want that. You want one of them. Using if, elif, else, and you can have as many elifs as you want, using that makes the distinction of only one of these. Only one of these is possible. Elif, grade bigger than, greater than, equal to 78, print out that you got a C. Elif, grade greater than or equal to, I just typed 87, 78, 70, print that you got a D, and then else, and don't forget the colon after each of these, print that you have an F. And so, again, because you have elif and you have else there, only one of those things can be printed. It cannot, if let's say you type in that you had 95, it's not going to print A, B, C, D, F. It's going to print only A and then skip the rest. These statements are all about the flow of your program. And so, as I said in the video previously to this, and as I said in class, the if statement, in my opinion, is the most important command in programming. It is meant to make choices, but you are the programmer, so you dictate what the choices are going to be. And if you have your if statement incorrect, it's going to make the wrong choice. Computers are not perfect because the people that program them. You and I are not perfect either. So you make a mistake, the computer is also going to make a mistake. And when you do this, you want to make sure that the hardest condition to get is on the top of the if statement. If you have greater than or equal to 70 on the first line and you type 95, well, yeah, that's going to trigger and then nothing else will print. The hardest grade to get on there is an A, so we have that first, and then you descend from there. I don't know how many of you play Yahtzee or if you play poker, but in those games, you can get a pair, you can get a 3 of a kind, and you can get what's called a full house. A full house is when you have, out of your 5 cards, your 5 dice, you have a 3 of a kind and a pair. Well, if you have an if statement for 3 of a kind first, before you have full house, it'll say that you have a 3 of a kind and not full house, because you do. You have 3 of a kind, but the thing is you want the one that is the hardest to get. You want the full house on top. So when we go through these, this is the end video for the week, but you have all of these statements. You have the basics. You have less than, greater than, equal to. You have the less than, equal to, greater than, equal to, not equal to. You have and or. You have if, else. You have all these different ways of determining the choice that you make in your programs. And so make sure you use them to your fullest advantage. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.